David Waters from Gators Breakdown right here on News 4 Jax, bringing you the top 4 most important players for the Florida Gators offense this spring. Number 4, wide receiver Xavier Henderson. Florida needs to find a number 2 wide receiver opposite Justin Shorter, and it needs to be a receiver that has the capability to be a downfield threat. Xavier Henderson was supposed to be that wide receiver, and we need to prove he can be in this new offense. This new offense likes to use play action for shots down the field. Henderson seems a likely candidate to test defenses down the field. Henderson was probably held back somewhat by a struggling passing game last season, but he should have some chances this season to beat some one-on-one coverage if the run game is working. There were times the wide receivers were open last season and never received the ball, but there were also too many instances of not being able to separate in coverage. He has shown that ability, and he has shown the ability to track down the ball. Now he's a veteran and a player that has played a ton in his first 2 seasons. Now it's time to step up as one of the top wide receivers on the roster. Florida is young behind him on the depth chart at wide receiver. Florida needs Henderson to step up. Number 3, running back Demarcus Bowman. We know Billy Napier likes to run the ball, and he has a great selection of running backs at Florida. It's time for Demarcus Bowman to get carries. Florida has lacked explosive run plays, and Bowman can bring that capability. We saw it in just some of the short highlights from last camp, and that needs to continue this spring. Saw action, limited time last year, 14 rushes, 81 yards. He'll probably be behind Louisiana transfer Montreal Johnson to start the spring, but can pull even if he can show explosiveness that he's capable of. If you're as highly recruited as Bowman, it's time to start seeing results, so a very important spring for him. Number 2, Osiris Torres, the biggest addition for this Gators football roster. An immediate starter for an offensive line that has struggled the last few seasons, would still be an immediate starter on a very good offensive line anywhere in the country. Torres could have went to the NFL if he wanted to. He could have transferred to pretty much anywhere in the country, but decided to follow Billy Napier from Louisiana to Florida, playing an offense he knows all so well as the best offensive lineman on the roster. He can share the knowledge of the offense with his fellow offensive linemen and can share the culture Billy Napier is bringing. This was a must-get for Florida in the transfer portal for a struggling offensive line, and it will pay huge dividends starting this spring. At 6'5", 332 pounds, Torrance started all but 1 game since his freshman season in 2019 in Louisiana. Was first-team All-Sun Belt last season, second-team the season before. In 3 seasons at Louisiana, Torrance allowed 0 sacks and just 1 quarterback hit. He's allowed just 17 pressures across 1,146 pass blocking reps. Number 1, quarterback Anthony Richardson. Is he healthy? That's the biggest question surrounding Gator football as we head into spring practice. Florida's potential rides on Anthony Richardson's potential. Probably won't be 100%, but should be able to go through most everything in spring practice. Needs to go through the reps and learning the new offense, how to play within the offense, limiting the turnovers he made last season. Even with the injuries, even with those mistakes, we got a taste of Richardson's potential. And if he can perform at that level on a more consistent basis, then Florida has their quarterback. Florida needs him to go through spring, have no injury setbacks with that knee surgery, and take a leadership role in leading this transition under Billy Napier. Yes, Florida has more experienced Emory Jones, and yes, Florida brought in transfer Jack Miller from Ohio State. But if the Florida run game can dominate, this quarterback should be fine. But for this offense to be as good as it can be, Anthony Richardson needs to stay healthy and live up to his potential. If you want even more Florida Gators football coverage this spring, be sure to tune in to Gators Breakdown. The latest episode, we go position by position on the offensive side of the ball, and we raise some questions. You can find us at news4jax.com/Gators Breakdown on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform.